cold smoked, basted with State Fair chicken sauce, and finished with Alabama white sauce. Oh yeah, this is the battle of the chicken barbecue sauces, and it's gonna be good no matter who wins. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Smoky Day Presents. On today's episode, we're going to be doing something highly controversial. Up in the north, when they do chicken barbecue, they always use Dr. Baker's Cornell chicken sauce, otherwise known everywhere else as State Fair sauce. It is the way they do chicken up there. Down in the Southland, though, typically what we see is Alabama white sauce. Now the sauce's ingredient list are very similar, interestingly enough, but not exactly. We'll be talking about that. But what we're going to do is I'm going to take a whole chicken, cut it in half, smoke it, and then we're going to put it on the grill with our Cornell chicken sauce, our State Fair chicken sauce, and baste it for 2 hours, slow and low. And then we'll finish it with some Alabama white sauce. So get ready. So the other day, when I was smoking all the meats and cheeses for the Shotgun Shells video, link in the description, thumbnail in the corner there, I also smoked these chicken halves. Now I buy whole chickens and split them because it's a lot cheaper to do that. Anyway, these chicken halves were cold smoked with hickory and applewood for 2.5 hours on the cold smoker. Can't really see them in the picture there, but trust me, they're in there. You can go online and get this great shirt. You can fascinate a woman with a piece of cheese, and other great shirts that I'm selling, such as, if you're gonna cut the cheese, just make sure it's Smoky Dave's. I just wanted to say I appreciate each and every one of you, and if you're new to the channel, please think about subscribing, hitting the notification bell, and leaving a comment down below. I read every comment. And until next time, don't forget, it's no joke, everything's better with smoke. Here's our ingredients for our Cornell or State Fair chicken sauce. What we have here is I'm going to be mixing this in here using the immersion blender. We have 1 cup of oil, which I managed to spill. Not sure how I did that, but I did. And 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. 1 egg. 2 teaspoons of rubbed sage. There's our sage. 1 teaspoon of, half a teaspoon, sorry. Half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. 1 teaspoon of thyme. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. That's it. Now I'm going to immersion blend this in the sink so it doesn't splatter all over and get on the camera, but I'll show you what it looks like in a minute here. And there it is. Wow! Cornell or State Fair chicken sauce. Okay, we're ready to make our Alabama white sauce. And of course, the very first ingredient goes without saying. It's mayonnaise, and if you want to make real Alabama, it's got to be Duke's. I'll put that in first. What I got here, I got 3/4 of a cup of mayonnaise. I'm making a smaller amount as we're only doing the 2 chickens, so we won't need the 2 halves of a chicken, so we won't need a whole lot. And just under 1/2 a cup, it's technically 3/8 of a cup, so 1/4 and 1/8, so, of apple cider vinegar. Now you can use distilled white vinegar if you want. Purists like to keep their sauce very white, so a lot of times they won't use the apple cider, but I prefer it. I'm going to put in a little bit of our green jalapeno pepper and garlic sauce that we made. Just add a little heat. A half a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. A half a tablespoon of horseradish, and my favorite, of course, is Engelhoffers. And I like to get the smooth stuff, especially for a sauce like that. A lot of times the horseradish sauce is very coarse, and that'll just, doesn't really give you a nice smooth sauce. Although I say that, and I'm going to be putting in some of this Engelhofer stone ground mustard. And you can leave out the mustard, but I'm trying to be authentic. So, a lot of recipes say Dijon, but I prefer this. Half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of fresh ground black pepper, and a little squirt of lemon. That's it. And of course, you can play around with these. Some people like to put a little bit of Frank's Red Hot sauce in there. What we're going to do is we're going to just stir these up, and then we're going to cover this with plastic and put it in the refrigerator and let those ingredients talk to each other. I'll be using this flippable grill rack that'll allow me to flip the chicken halves without touching and potentially breaking off delicious outside crust or even tearing the skin, as sometimes happens if you're using one of those grippers to flip your chicken each time. This helps keep the chicken together too, especially as it gets near the end of its cooking time, where it becomes very tender and can break apart. So I highly recommend using one of these. And of course, I'm just setting this in an old broiler pan I have, which makes it easy to carry out without dripping juice all over the place. Now let's go out to the grill and get these started. And there we are, out at the grill. And I'm going to put a little bit of that State Fair chicken sauce on there. State Fair or Cornell chicken sauce, however you like it. We're just going to base that on the skin part while we let the inside half of the chicken, if you will, the rib side or whatever you want to call it, face down by the flames. Now, one thing you have to be aware of, remember, this sauce is half oil. On top of that, you got all the fat in the chicken, and it will tend to cause flame ups. So you're going to want to have a water bottle at the ready. After about 30 minutes, you want to flip your chicken skin side down, and this is where you're going to sauce up the inside of the chicken, but have your water bottle ready. You don't want to burn that skin. Just get a nice brown color on it. Now I'm keeping an eye on that temperature gauge right there. We don't want this to really go much above 250 degrees. And after 2 hours, there you go. I'm checking the internal temperature to make sure it is fully cooked, but it is. It's so tender, it's fall off the bone at this point. And that's exactly what we're going for. Well, we're back in the kitchen, and I'm going to allow this chicken to rest for about 20 minutes. And that'll keep all those wonderful juices inside the meat. We also want our Alabama white sauce to sink in deep into that crusty skin, so we will apply a generous amount to our chicken first before we put it in our container. And I'm going to use this foil-lined plastic container, and this will be fine. We'll place the chicken inside, cover it with another piece of foil in the top, and that'll keep the heat and moisture right where it needs to be. Oh yeah, doesn't that look good? And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, and I must say, I'm getting hungry. Now you can see when I cut this meat, there's just the slightest tint of pink to that, which is from the smoking process. This meat is fall off the bone tender, fully cooked. No worries there. And it has a delicious smoke in the background, and of course that Alabama white sauce. I put a little extra on the plate so I could dip the chicken in, and I'll tell you what, that chicken didn't last long. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this latest edition of Smoky Dave Presents. You know, I grew up in the New York area, the state, not the city. I was a country boy, grew up on a farm, and our firemen always put on a chicken barbecue using Cornell chicken barbecue sauce, known everywhere else as State Fair sauce. And then once I came down to the Southland, I discovered Alabama white sauce. And you know, I love them both. And of course, as you saw from the ingredients list, they're very similar. But they do have their differences, and they work well together. I highly recommend it. Again, I thank you all for watching this far. And if you're new to the channel, think about subscribing and hitting that notification bell. But most importantly, give me a like and leave a comment down below. I read every comment and I respond to all questions. So if you got a question, give it to me. If I don't know the answer, I'll find it. If I can't find it, I'll let you know. But until next time, don't forget, it's no joke. Everything's better with smoke.